Hey guys, it's Miss Alexander, and today we're doing Module 5, Lesson 15. I split it into 2 days from Engage New York. We're going to compare two fractions with different numerators and denominators by creating common denominator. So we have been studying this, and so this is more of a little review before we move on to another concept. Remember, we always review our vocabulary words. We have a fraction. Yes, it is described one or more parts of a whole. They're divided in equal parts. We have a numerator. Great job. It is the top number of a fraction that describes how many pieces of the whole you have. And then we have the denominator, the bottom number of the fraction that describes how many pieces make the whole. Now remember the steps on how to find the common denominator. To find it, we're going to write down our multiples of the number or skip count by the denominators till you find a common multiple. Convert to the common denominator by multiplying the original fraction by a whole value of a whole one, a one whole. So 2 over 2 equals 1, 3 over 3 equals 1, 5 over 5 equals 1. So any number over itself equals 1, and this is what we mean by a whole number. So let's go look. Here's the example we've done in earlier videos, 3/2 and 7/5. We had 2 as a denominator, 5 as a denominator. We found out what was our common denominator, which is 10, by skip counting or writing down our first 5 multiples of each number. Well, we only did the first 2 because we saw that's where we matched up. And then we take the 3/2, we multiply it by some whole number equals some number over 10. And whenever I say whole number, I mean whole one. So we do 2 times 5 equals 10. What we do the bottom, we do the top. Then we do 3 times 5 to get our 15. And we did the same thing here. We found out 15 was bigger than 14. And I'm just going to jump down to the next one. The same thing here. We found out which was our common denominator. And we did our steps to find out that 8/10 is bigger than a quarter. Now I'm going to get down here so we can do two more. And we're going to actually work these out together. We have 8/5 and 9/6. So yes, my first denominator is 5, and my second denominator is 6. So right here, I'm going to write out my multiples of 5. So we have 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25. Right down here, I'm going to do my 6s, 6, 12, 18, 24, and 30. And I'm seeing that I don't have a common denominator, so I'm going to go right up here to 5. And I see that 6 made it to 30. So I'm going to see how long it takes me to get to 30 or past, and then take 6 back out. So after 25 on 5s is 30. So we didn't have to go very far. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight my 30. We know that 30 is our common denominator, so I can go right up here and write 30 in my denominators so that I already know I have it common. Now I'm going to take the 8/5, 8 over 5, multiplied by some whole one equals some number over 30. So I'm looking at this 5, and I need to multiply it by some number, give me 30. If you're not too sure what it is, just come back up here, your multiples, and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So right here in our denominator, we're writing a 6. Remember what we do on our denominator, we do the same thing to our numerator, so we can get our whole one. So now I do 8 times 6, which is, yes, 48. So right up here in this first fraction, I'm going to write 48. Now we need to get the next one, and our number is 9 over 6. I'm going to multiply it by some whole one, which equals some number over 30, some fraction over 30. So now I look 6 times what number gives me 30, and I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I put a 5 in the denominator, and what I do in the denominator, I do in the numerator, which is 5. Another thing I like to say is when I do the bottom, I do the top. So now we do 9 times 5, which is, yes, 45. Now I come right up here And I write 45, and which is bigger, 48 or 45, you guys? Yes, 48. That means 8/5 is bigger than 9/6. Let's look at one more. We have 3/4 and 7/8. Yes, we're going to put our 4 here in our orange. We're going to put our 8 in the green. I'm going to go ahead and do my multiples of 4. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. And now it's time to do our 8, you guys. 8. Yes, we can stop right here because they both have 8. So I'm going to quick highlight the 8 so that we know that 8 is our common denominator. I'm going right up here so that I can mark that 8's my common denominator, you guys. And because this is already an 8, I can go to the top in our numerator and write my 7. So that one is done. We need to figure out 3/4. So I'm going to do my 3/4 right down here. Once you get that right here where it goes small, all you have to do is backspace. We're going to multiply by some whole 1 equals some fraction over 8. Now I look this and go 4 times what gives me 8? If you don't know, you go up here and count 1, 2. Because remember, up here is just skip counting or writing our multiples. Either way you look at it. And what I do the denominator, I need to do the numerator, you guys. So now we do 3 times 2 is, yes, 6. So right up here in my numerator, I write a 6, which is bigger, 6 or 7. Yes, it is 7. So that means 7/8 is bigger than 3/4. I hope this helped. Remember, as you're doing this, to take your time. Remember to smile, giggle, and wiggle, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.